On August 13th, 1983, Starkie Swenson left his home on bicycle and set off into the Neenah, Wisconsin night. His planned destination and route are unknown. What is known? He was never heard from again. 10 years later, with no trace of Swenson's body ever found, a man was arrested and charged with Swenson's murder. He maintains his innocence, but halts his 1994 trial by accepting a lesser charge and is sentenced to 2 years in prison. To this day, that man, John C. Andrews, refuses to admit any involvement or guilt in the crime. Starkie Swenson's body has never been found. Armed with today's technology and new information on the case, Dr. Jordan Karsten and his team have been asked by investigators to help find the body, and with it, answers. This is Cold Case Frozen Tundra. We hope you will join us in our search for the lost remains of Starkie Swenson, beginning April 13th, 2021 with our first episode, Swallowed by the Night. Subscribe to the podcast now to stay up to date with episodes as they are released each week after April 13th. You can find out more about Cold Case Frozen Tundra and the unusual case of Starkie Swenson at our website, frozentundrapodcast.com, and by following us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Coming this season. So we're walking through the school grounds now, hopefully not going to get kicked off. And we're headed towards the alcove in the school. It's a nice looking school, really.
Yeah, cool old historic building. Yeah, interesting in terms of this alcove.
So there's kind of a second building outside of the main building. And there used to be a grassy courtyard between the two buildings that now has a walkway built through it, but this used to go all the way through to the other side, and this is where John Andrews apparently murdered Starkie Swenson.
Now, is that the tree?
Either this one or the one on the other side. There's one on each side of the courtyard.
So they're looking into John C. Andrews. They've got his vehicle at the crime lab. They've got whatever other information was given to them which prompted their search warrant in the first place. And now they've got the ability to sit Andrews down in court and ask him to testify under oath. The state asks him all about the night of Swenson's disappearance. Under oath, Andrews insists he did not see Swenson that night.
And I don't know how we got to talking about John Andrews. I don't remember. But she told me, she said, you know, he used to garden down there at night. And being in the country, you know, you can't hardly see your hand in front of your face. And I said, he was gardening down there at night? And she said, yeah. And that was kind of like a red flag for me.
You know, even in the newspaper accounts of Suzanne Eggert's testimony, it makes it seem, when they talk about her parked on these different streets and looking at the grassy alcove, like she's pretty close, right? In fact, she is not very close at this point. I mean, you're talking about at least 1,000 feet, at least.
Yeah. Well, we're reaching Loudon Boulevard now, so we're going to go around the corner and stand there where Suzanne Eggert said she drove around to and parked after overhearing the altercation. And this is where she says she looked back and saw John Andrews leaning into the trunk of his car. So we're here in 2021. It's almost 40 years since Starkie Swenson first went missing in 1983, and there's a lot we know about this case, but there's probably even more we don't know. We've got no body, a man who served time in connection with the murder, strongly defending his innocence over all these years, and a case which, really, rests on the testimony of only a few individuals whose lives were all tangled together in this bizarre story.